Hi there, my name is Peter Dove, author of Master Dressage, and this is my daughter Millie, who you'll see in the books Master Dressage and Master Dressage The Basics. Today we're going to show you 3.0 ways of not pulling back on the reins. Now the reason I say 3.0 is just a little joke that often someone may say to you, stop pulling on the reins, as if perhaps you like pulling on the reins or you're pulling on the reins on purpose. And really, to avoid pulling on the reins, you usually have to be doing something else to avoid pulling on the reins. So I'm going to do 3 quick tips to help you avoid pulling back on the reins, even when your horse is pulling as well. So the very first thing you need to make sure is you need to make sure you have your reins the correct length. If your reins are too long, you could end up pulling back automatically just because there's nowhere else to go, and essentially your tummy will pull in and you start pulling back on the reins. So it's important to have the hands out in front of you, slightly above and slightly in front of the withers. If your reins are too long, all kinds of contortions start to happen and you start compromising your position. So that's just tip 1. Tip 2, which works often on horses that are leaning on the rein, is you can simply give one hand forward like that and back. So you just give the hand forward and back. And you'll see that on a couple of my videos, and if you come and watch the 2-hour demo tomorrow, you'll see Millie doing that occasionally as well. So it's a little give of the contact, and in essence you're saying, I'm not going to be involved in this pulling match, I'm not going to pull back on you, and you just give the contact away and come back to a normal lighter contact, and sometimes with the other hand, whichever one the horse happens to be leaning on.
And they end up realising that if they don't pick themselves up, they'll end up falling on their face because you're not going to hold them up.
Yes, okay. And then the final one is the attitude of holding the reins, which I've brought Millie along to demonstrate. So this is called pushing as if against resistance. So if you have a partner handy, or you could do this using a wall, let me show you this little exercise. So place yourself in an on-horse position, although you've got one leg in front of the other, and you put your hands out in front of you as if you're holding the reins. And essentially, with your partner, you're going to increase the pressure against each other. So you're going to create a resistance and both push against each other. Now, Millie's going to demonstrate what happens if you push really hard. Go. And I'm a rider that when I let go, whoop, this happens. And Millie kind of falls forward. But ideally, if you're pushing your hands as if against a resistance and stabilizing your body, and in fact when you do this exercise you'll find your core muscles start to engage, which is a really important part of this. Push. So Millie's going to let go now, and my hands should stay here. So it's not like the game of tug of war where I pull at Millie and Millie pulls at me, and then one of us lets go and we go flying backwards. It's important to feel as though you push your hands forward as if against a resistance, and the hands stay in place like that. So it's a nice little exercise to test if you can stay strong and stable through your core, keeping the hands pushed forward against resistance, and if the horse pulls at you, you just stabilize through your core rather than drawing your hands back. So there's a couple of things going on very soon. The first is the 2-hour demo that we've got going on tomorrow at 1 p.m. We've got 2 riders, one rider, Millie, doing Intro C, and another rider doing Prelim 18, that's Imi Sanderson. And we'll also have Debbie Carpenter, who's a British Dressage judge, and she'll be coming judging both tests, and we'll be discussing the tests, the warm-up and so on. The link below will direct you to where all the information is on that. The other thing, the big project that I've got going on in 2016 is actually 10 individual live streamed lessons, which will then be recorded and you can watch them whenever you want. Over the period of 1 lesson every 2 weeks will be on a completely different subject. Using live streaming technology, we'll be using our own arena, our own horses, and each lecture will be on a completely different subject, alignment, transitions, turning and so on, all based around the lessons of the basics. I've put the link below. If you would like to get involved in that, we've created a Kickstarter campaign. Just click the link below and go and have a look at our Kickstarter campaign and get involved. There's only about 24 hours left to get involved in that, And for those joining the Kickstarter campaign, I've created a really special price of only £60 for the 10 one-hour lessons that you'll be able to access at any time. You'll be able to join us live, ask us lots of questions. We'll be able to read you anything that's not clear for you, and somebody will be manning the chat area as we're also doing the lessons. Joining me, I'll have other experts such as Mary Wanless, BHSI, founder of the Rider Biomechanics movement. We'll be doing some lessons from her indoor arena. So it'll be really quite exciting, this particular project, and it will be one lesson every other week starting in January. So I really look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 1 p.m. GMT, and hopefully we'll see you on the 10 lessons as well.